So welcome to today's inquiry into, does life have a meaning? What is the meaning of life, if there is a meaning? Yes, I want to get your thoughts about that.
The meaning of life is to live.
Say, please.
The meaning of life is to live.
To live. What does that mean, to live, the meaning of life?
To be present.
Be present.
To be aware. To be.
To be aware, to be, to live. Okay? Anybody else?
To positively influence people around you.
Please say again.
Positively influence people around you.
To have positive people around you.
To share that positivity.
Okay.
Like to make somebody smile.
So you're positive and you want to share this positivity.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Very noble meaning. Please.
To fulfill one's dharma, to fulfill life purpose, to
Okay.
harmonize with the
So purpose and meaning are synonymous together here.
Yeah, I guess to find that gift that you have and
Okay.
to share that gift.
Okay. Have you found it?
I'm trying.
And you'll recognize it when you find it?
I think I'm getting closer.
Okay. So the purpose and the meaning is to realize the gift you have and to share it. Okay. And that's a journey to find that special gift. Anybody else with any thoughts about life's meaning? Okay. That's quite a beginning. So from that, let's spend some quiet time together. So just relax. Be aware of the sounds of my voice, the sound of the air conditioner motor on the next building. Be aware of the sounds, birds chirping, roosters crowing in the distance, motorbikes passing. Be aware of all the sounds. And be aware of physical sensations that will arise during the inquiry. So be aware of sounds, be aware of physical sensations. And finally, be aware of thoughts. And there's nothing that needs to be done with a sound, a sensation, or a thought. Simply let them come and let them go. You're relaxed now and you're open and accepting of the sounds, of the thoughts, and of the physical sensations. No resistance and no attachment. Now move your attention just a little bit. Move the attention from the sounds, from the thoughts, and from the sensations. Move the attention from them to the one that is now aware of them. There is an awareness and knowing when a sound, a thought, a sensation arises. So you're now aware of noticing, of observing, of recognizing a sound, a sensation, a thought appear and disappear. And with self-awareness, everything slows down, and there's no attachment to what's happening. And with the slowing down of thinking, there is clarity. A sound is heard clearly, a thought is seen clearly, and the physical sensation is felt clearly. Clear seeing, clarity. And from the clarity of self-awareness, see now if there is a space between thoughts, a space between sounds, a space between sensations. Look now, see if there's space. If there is, without doing anything, no effort, relax in space. Relax in the space. Become the space between sounds, between thoughts, between sensations. And as space, open up, expand. Expand space to spaciousness, vastness, immensity, spaciousness, beginningless, endless. Boundaryless, limitless, spaciousness. And from this peacefulness and calmness and openness, let's inquire together into the meaning of life. Well, that's a big, perplexing question. The meaning of life, and let's explore it from a smaller question and a smaller way of looking at it. The few of you that responded to the question of meaning of life, you were talking about personal meaning, what meaning you have about your life, your purpose. So who is this I that is searching for meaning, searching for understanding, searching for purpose? When we're born, we're given a name, and immediately that name, if not at that time, eventually has meaning. It's an identification of a me, of an I. And it has meaning because as we get older, the identification, the label of a name may not have the meaning that we want in our search for meaning. So it can be changed. A spiritual teacher can give you a new name that fits more with who you think you are, your personality. Or maybe you find someone who says the number of letters in your name do not mean something grand and something that you can identify with in a more spiritual way. So that produces a change of name. So the names are not permanent. It's just a label. But for many, it can mean something. And then look at the gender that we're born in, male, female. Well, there's a great deal of meaning that can be attached to that. How one lives one's life based on gender conditioning. But we know now that gender is also not permanent, that there's gender realignment. Gender can be changed. And in the change to another gender, then there's a whole nother way to live. So we see that there's meaning small meaning in a name, maybe bigger in a gender. But can we say that any of that is permanent? We kind of assume that I am this way, and we think a certain way based on models that we have grown up with, parents, teachers, peers. So a personality is formed usually within the first 8 years of our lives. And from the small meanings come the question of the big meaning. What am I here for? And when you think of purpose at a young age, is that purpose that maybe you were exploring as a 7 or 8 or 9-year-old the same? The purpose of growing up with whatever image you were attracted to and thought, boy, I'd like to be that, an astronaut, a singer, a nurse, a doctor. And do you still have that image, that purpose today? Or has it changed many times since you were young? So can we say that the purpose then, if we're looking at purpose and meaning kind of synonymous, the same. So purpose when we are 8 or 9 or 10, or a teenager, of what I want to be when I grow up, is it the same as now? If you have a purpose in life now, are you seeking a meaning to your life? Is it different than it was? So what does that say about purpose and meaning? It's not permanent. Isn't that our experience? So this I has been given a name and an identification that may not be meaningful and is changed. And the gender is changed, the possibility of gender being changed, impermanent. So can we look and see that everything that we believe to be true about ourselves is fluid? It's not permanent. But somehow we believe wholeheartedly that this is who I am. This is my name. This is my gender. The package that is cultivated throughout our lives, from children, teenagers, to young adults, to adults. To older people. Senior citizens, I believe, is the term. So we can go through life saying, this is who I am. And in that, we need support. We need others to support who we think we are. And we find others for short times, maybe, so we engage in relationships to support who we think we are. And for some, there is dissatisfaction eventually in this package of who I think I am. I may have a job that is unsatisfying. And in that dissatisfaction, there starts to be questioning. Is this all there is? Going to work, making a great deal of money? But it's not fulfilling. It's not meaningful. So the questioning starts. And we find tools to support the questioning. We find yoga. We find meditation. We find drugs and other tools. And what these tools provide is an opportunity to slow down the mind stream. And the mind stream is all the information that's been cultivated through our lives of who I am. All the information, the name, everything, which is the package of me. My desires, my fears, everything. It's the data input. It's where it's all held, the repository, so to speak. So the questioning begins. There's yoga, there's meditation, there's books, there's self-help books. All of this propels the questioning, which is important. So if we're dissatisfied and find that our lives are meaningless, there's no joy, there's no purpose, it becomes automated. So is there another way to be, another way to live? From meaningless, we're looking for meaning. So again, we turn to these tools, which are very helpful. And it creates that opening between the mind stream and stillness. And in that opening, and it doesn't have to be a big opening, but in that taste, in that experience, when thinking slows down, something else is revealed. Something that is not of thought, is not all the information that's been cultivated all my life. Something else is revealed. Something new and fresh. And one meditation Zen Roshi said, referred to it as the beginner's mind. New and fresh. And from that opening can come profound change in one's life. From that opening, initially just a taste, just a peek through the velvet curtain, brings about wanting more. And immediately the tendency of mind is to understand what has happened when that experience takes place. That is the conditioning of mind, of me. I need to understand what just happened. It needs to be cataloged, analyzed, and put into this mind repository with all the other information that supports who I think I am. But in this openness, it is incomprehensible. It is indescribable. The mind cannot understand, analyze, or hold on to it. So when we look at who we think we are, and the meaning of all these different times in our lives when we're trying to understand who we are, is not there in emptiness. And in this moment, where are you? What is your experience of what's been stated? Do you relate to it? Do you reject it? Are you feeling neutral? So what's going on for you in this moment? What's the experience? So in this opening, where is meaning? Where is purpose? Where is I? Because again, if this I is this package, that we believe to be true, but eventually become dissatisfied with the way it's being expressed and the action in the package. And this leads to the questioning, inquiry, which is what we're doing right now. So in this stillness, where is meaning right now for you? Where is the I that's seeking meaning and purpose in this moment? Perhaps there is just a sound, a sensation, thoughts taking place. And this is how we live. We are conscious of the senses, that we are alive. But where is the I? Where is the me that is separate from other I's? Can you find it right this moment? There is consciousness, there's awareness. And everything that's appearing in awareness, the sound, the sensation, the thought, the taste, the smell, all of the senses engaged. But where is the I that says it's my experience, my taste, my smell, my thoughts? My meaning, my purpose. If the I is taken out of the equation, then what is there? Where is meaning? Where is purpose? There is just a sound of an air conditioner motor, a sensation in the body. A thought or two. So life is taking place in each moment. The totality of life, the wholeness, with no separation, no individuation. Life being lived in these forms, different in appearance, but essentially the same. On a molecular level, no different. But somehow we have been taught and supported in that we are separate from other life forms. But in this moment, where is separation? It's only an idea, a concept. And in that realization is freedom. That's the bottom line of spirituality, enlightenment, awakening. And that is there in each moment. Not looking for it, not seeking it, but letting go of all beliefs that I have to find it. So if you believe that you are this package, this identification that's been cultivated all your life, then inherent in that is separation and trying to understand and looking for purpose and meaning. But if there is the realization that this package is just a package and not permanent, and it's something wonderful and an expression There is no meaning, no purpose, just what is in this moment. And in this moment and the next moment, every possibility exists, every potentiality. From the stillness comes creativity. From the stillness comes everything. New, fresh. You are that, and all the expressions of that. The dance of life. Where are you now? What's the experience? And from the stillness, or wherever you are in this moment, questions and statements are permissible, if you have any to share. there something you'd like to quote or share from that which you're reading?
What religion do I preach? The religion of love. John Wesley. What religion do I preach? The religion of love. From John Wesley.
And when there is the consideration of love, and in spirituality, love is also, or often referred to as that which you are. But it's not an emotional love that we're used to, an emotional love that we seek from another person, from an object. Love that is referred to there, and as a famous Sufi poet Rumi referred to as the beloved. And as Rumi said, love is not an emotion, it is existence. So the word love can be misconstrued as feeling blissful and passing on love, or as was mentioned, positivity. In realizing your true nature, you are the source of every expression. Of joy, of sadness, of emotional love. But there's not an identification of an I that prefers one to the other. I want to hold on to happiness and I don't want to experience sadness. That's the difference. In the I that is seeking love, and the I, or the realization that it is love, but not emotional love. Emotional love is an expression, as is the emotion of sadness or joy or anger. And to see and realize that's all part of the play of life, and not wanting to hold on to any of those. But to experience them, not to suppress them, but to, oh, okay. Because to suppress is this I that doesn't want to experience that feeling. Or the I that wants to hold on to that one. And the realization it's all part of the totality. No question.
Well, kind of confuses me more because because you raised the question of what is the meaning of life.
So now my mind, my ego wants to answer. My analytical mind wants to answer the question of what is the meaning of life.
So what's the answer?
No, I don't know. No, no, I don't know.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to have an answer.
So what if you gave up trying to find the answer? Yes.
Yeah. So I have the question to start with.
Because it's just a starting point. Because many people, as we realized at the outset, have particular definitions in what meaning means to them. Everybody can have a different meaning, as we heard at the beginning.
So if we don't try and have an answer, if we just let go of it, then
it's not about not having an answer. It's that the question is not important. It's not something that it comes up and is pursued.
Just find it really difficult to live a life, live my life that society has taught us how to live in our minds and identifying with who we are as dualism in a non-dualistic way. So if we're thinking about the idea of we are all one, there is no dualism. But we've been taught to think this way of dualism. I am me, you are you. I find it hard because if I am everything, then why think about me and my goals and the life I need to live and the end goal of my life?
Sure. That's an important question. And when you get into these concepts of non-dualism or oneness, these are just ideas. These are concepts. It's a way of talking about something. Okay? It's not real. It's just pointing at something, and it's a way of talking. But what can take place is, as you refer to, this analytical mind and everything that you believe to be true about yourself. That's the questioning. Is it true? That has nothing to do with concepts or beliefs or something to attain, so some noble spiritual concept. It's to question, is what I believe to be true about myself, is it? That's all. That's what's being really proposed here. That questioning, that belief that everything that I have been taught, I believe to be true, but you're now here questioning this or you wouldn't be here today. So that questioning is taking place. And this is to encourage that questioning continue. The end result, non-dualism, spirituality, enlightenment, those are just ideas and concepts. It's what is happening now. What's the experience now? Without amplifying and say, to see, I want this experience to change. Or trying to understand the experience is part of the analytical conditioning. So what happens if we let go of that? That's all. What's there in the moment? Not some grand place to be, but right now. Yes.
So would you kind of say that you find meaning in the releasement of attachment and in trying to find it? Like, you're so attached in life to go on this journey to find it, and you're kind of told, like you're saying, like this is what you need to do, and it kind of finds you if you have faith that it will just kind of find you. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, yeah. When in the questioning.
Yeah.
In the questioning of, is this real? Is this true? Everything I've been taught about myself, by my parents, by my teacher. And all of that is relevant to live in the world. But what seems to create conflict is to understand every action. Understand that, and understanding means that I understand myself and I'm in control. When I know what is happening and why it's happening, wow, don't I feel good about it?
Mm.
If I don't know, woo, that produces insecurity. Security is to understand one's life.
Mm.
And what can happen is it becomes unrewarding. It becomes rote, the security. And that's when the questioning is in letting go of security and the willingness to play in the unknown, to be insecure. Not to become enlightened, but to look at one's life moment to moment and see what am I holding on to that's true, that I believe. That's the question. That's the inquiry. Now, not to attain some permanent state.
I think that's the attachment we kind of all hold, right? Like
Yeah.
that we're gonna get to that point if we.
Yeah,
Mm.
because that's what we've been taught.
Mm.
If you do this, you're going to get something from it.
Rewarded.
Rewarded. But how about just doing it without knowing what's going to happen from doing it?
But is it but still, like, if you're thinking about just your life in general and not thinking about any spirituality or trying to attain something in that sense, saying, okay, I'm here in this moment, I felt this, if you're meditating or just being aware and say, okay, this is what I know is real now, and now I still choose to believe that I want to attain something in my life out there. In 2 years' time, I want to reach that goal, even though it's not true, because it might not happen, or
Okay.
but I choose to live my life because I would like to have structure, and I want this and this and this, and always come back to, is it true in this moment? This is true. This is. But now, okay, I've done that, and now I'm going on my mission, even though it's not true, but I choose to live a life that is.
Well, to say it's not true is just an idea. It's the experience, the questioning of what is real. From that, you can play however you want to play, but you see it as play. It's not like there's no I that's there, but it's knowing that this is the play, and this particular I that is seen to be just an expression of the totality is doing what's taking place. But then in that inquiry, it also brings up the question of choice and all the things that we believe we're in control of. You see?
Yeah.
That's the security. I'm choosing, and I know what I'm choosing. I may not be happy about my choice, and then if my choice doesn't work out, I'm unhappy and conflicted. Yeah. So it's not that you have to make incredible dramatic changes in your life, but changes will take place. But not of from the mind. It, things can be seen new in a different way of being that can't be conceived of now if we're trying to understand the future.
There's some power in like goal setting, right? Like if you want to get somewhere and you want some direction to go, like the power of knowing and setting up, states in your mind to kind of create that direction. And I think that's what's really confusing to me because, like say I want to save all this money because I want to go on this trip, which is what I'm doing right now. Like, that can sometimes only happen when you're kind of planning and creating some direction and creating that security, right?
Right. Well, I mean, plans have to be made,
Yeah.
but it's the attachment to the plans, the specific attachment that may not take place. The plan may not be what you expect.
Yeah.
And can you be open
I see, yeah.
to the unexpected? Okay? Because we can be so looking at the goal
Yeah.
that we're not.
All right, and we forget about the present and the other opportunities that could kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, any other question or comment?
I don't know how, like, the ideas you're talking about are frustrating to me too, like, long term versus being present, not focusing too far ahead. But I do find that, like, the reflection and, like, the self-evaluation helps me define where I want to go a little bit. And then also, like, the fluidity, like you're talking about, like questioning things and who you are and what you want is very powerful, and just defining who you are. If whether that's definable or not, it's open to interpretation. But
Well, there's no answer to who you are. It's questioning who you think you are. Okay? And most human beings are locked into who they think they are and trying to understand who they are and projecting that in the future, that who I am now. And when we investigate, we can see that that projection is based on the past. So there's this movement in time that I need to become this or whatever is considered the goal to become. Nothing wrong with that. It seems to be a traditional way of living. What's being suggested here is a different way. A different way wherein not knowing, then the possibilities are limitless. What can take place for this particular form. And that's all that's being suggested, a different way. And a way that can be called new, not based on the old, not based on the past and memories. So where are you now? What's the experience? You have questions? Many questions? It's fine. That's the questioning, that's the inquiry. But there are no answers to the questions. The answers that we seek and we think we find are part of this whole package of understanding. Understanding. And what's being suggested is giving up trying to understand what is. There's a sound, there's a sensation, thoughts, all coming and going. So what needs to be understood? There is just life. As it's being lived in this moment. And the rest will take care of itself. Which may bring up some fear, but that's in the moment. And then again, what is that experience of fear or confusion? That's what's taking place in the moment. And that's true meditation.
I don't think it's a fear, though.
Hmm?
I don't think it's a fear that I feel about the future. It's a desire to accomplish.
Okay.
Which maybe that's a form of fear. I don't know.
No, it's a form of you, whoever you think you are, having goals and wanting to accomplish those goals in the future. No, nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong with any of this, please. This is just a way of speaking, of talking about something. That's all.
I think the thing is, like, because I feel like this
massive feeling of contentment now, which 3 minutes ago I felt completely, like, and I think it's just our whole analytical mind, which we're born, not born, we're taught as we grow up to think. And when we find it, and so it's unnatural for us we need to feel that control. So when you do just actually say, and let go, it's actually so easy. It's like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
There you go, and then you can laugh. Yes.
And then we forget about it again, and then we get back to
And
it.
then, but for that split second, it's just like, what?
But once you say you forget about it, but once you kind of taste it, it's like putting your head in the lion's mouth, and it's difficult to get it out.
Or a giant smoothie bowl.
So, yes, there's nothing wrong with thinking. It's just we've been taught a particular way to think. That's all, and that's the question. Less so in the East than in the West.
I think also if you go beyond thinking, like you got the answers because you're not thinking about them in like a logical way, but they just appear and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know this moment where you're thinking about something and you totally have like this, now I got it.
Right.
And for example, if you're doing a math, like a calculation, and you didn't get it, how to get on this, and then you see it, and then it's like, wow, it's so easy. And I think this is the moment, more or less.
Eureka.
Yeah, that's the moment. That's the wowness, the newness, to see something fresh and new. It's not a thought. Because you're trying to understand and you're blocked. You come up against the wall. And then once you come up against the wall, there's, okay, the dropping. Because thinking can't go anymore, any further. And then something else. That's when the slowing down of thinking. That's what we're talking about. And we've all experienced it. When you have to make a momentous decision in your life, it's suggested be quiet, be still, go away, be quiet, and not make it from the past, but in that stillness can come a fresh way of seeing of that decision that needs to be made. Yeah, please.
I always find it so easy when we meditate. Have this bundle up all my things throughout the day, and then I relax, and then I feel the state that we're in now. But it's so hard to remind myself that's good to go meditate, to even just take a few breaths and find that throughout the day. Like it's so hard. Like our society kind of isn't built for us to find that ease in doing that.
Right. And it is easier when you're in a meditation group to experience something different. But at the same time, it's available anytime during the day. And when you feel overwhelmed, just stop and take a few deep breaths and check and see where you are and what's happening. Okay? And again, it's to find support in the people that you associate with that support what you're going through. If you're doing spiritual inquiry, or you find like-minded people, and that's of assistance, because it's there.
Yeah.
It's there, always there.
Just keep forgetting.
Yeah. Well, let's conclude with some quiet time. So, just relax wherever you are. No meditative position required. Just relax. And let go of any thoughts you have about what's been explored, what's been inquired. Let it go. It's not something to make into a belief system that I have to do something, whatever you might think has come from this inquiry. But let it all go. Just be aware right now to the sounds, to the thoughts, to the sensations. And while the thoughts and the sounds and the physical sensations come and go, the awareness of what comes and goes is unchanging. So rest in awareness. Relax and rest in your true nature. Namaste.